Greetings, my name is Piero and welcome back to Neon Slice. So today I wanted to go back to Resident Evil Village and talk about what this game did right and what it did wrong, in my opinion. Now, I won't go too in depth, but I will be talking about all of the game modes and, briefly giving you my opinion on what I think is good and what I think is bad about this game. Now, let's talk about the obvious, let's get the obvious out of the way. Let's talk about the campaign. So, the story mode, right? So, I have nothing really negative to say about it other than I kind of wish I don't know. I like the characters, the acting is just out of this world. Like these voice actors and actors are just so amazing. They did a wonderful job. And Lady D is one of the most memorable characters ever in gaming, in my opinion. So I really enjoy everything that has to do with the acting in this game and how these people brought these characters to life. In terms of gameplay, though, I don't know. I just feel like this game is not that impressive. It's just kind of like whatever. Maybe I've been desensitized because I've played it so much that I don't feel anything. It's fun, but it's not. I don't feel like it's anything out of this world. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great, but I don't think it's anything revolutionary. I think it's a good step in the right direction. I think it's better than RE6 for sure. And yeah, but I'm a big fan of like the classic Resident Evils, horror, being in the dark, having to survive, like the police station, fixed camera angles, or third person view. But I don't mind these first person games. But yeah, I gotta say, yeah, the story was kind of generic, but the fact that the characters were so well written, I think it really added a plus to this game. In terms of post game, like Village of Shadows, it just made enemies a lot, just have more health and they would hit you harder. There's nothing different to the experience other than they're just stronger. So I don't know. I personally don't believe in difficulty. For example, in Resident Evil 2 Remake, if you play hardcore, enemies move and behave differently. Like, I actually can't play Resident Evil 2 Remake on normal because I've played it once on normal, I think, and I have no idea how like enemies move in normal because they're like, I don't know how to deal with them because they're so different. Which is true, by the way. Go ahead and try it. If you go back to RE2 Remake, you'll see like the Birkin moves differently. The bosses, Mr. Rex is kind of like, he doesn't really swing. He just kind of walks past you. It's kind of weird, to explain. But yeah, it's really different. So in terms of DLC, of course, this DLC was Shadows of Rose and the Mercenaries, which I will talk about extensively in a second. So Shadows of Rose. Now, I'm looking at it from a perspective of a casual gamer. Let's say RE8 is my first RE game. I personally wouldn't come back. If I was a casual and I didn't care about Resident Evil, I would not come back to this game at all. Like, I would beat it and I would move on with my life. I wouldn't even try the Mercenaries. Why do I feel like that? Well, it's just simply like, I don't know, the DLC just took over a year to come out, first of all. And that's okay, great things take a long time. But this DLC can be completed in 40 minutes. If it wasn't for like the forced cutscenes and, certain events that require time, you could literally just blaze through this DLC. The only reason why I bought this DLC is because Mercenaries and, it's Resident Evil. It's my favorite game series. I have to know what, the story and what happens. And, I'm very invested in the story of Ethan Winters. Very, very likable guy, and his daughter. They're, it's great acting, great storyline. I really, really like the whole, backstory to Rose, how she was bullied for her powers and stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about the whole BOW thing. Like, it almost feels like we're stepping into Marvel territory where there's like mutants that live, within society that want to fit in and stuff like that. You know, that's just superhero stuff. Like, that's not Resident Evil to me. Unless you call this the end of the timeline of Resident Evil, and then moving forward, we just go back, you know, and fill in those gaps because Shadows of Rose ends in like 2034. I'm pretty sure that's the timeline. But yeah, the DLC. If I was a casual player, I would have not cared. In fact, I don't think 90% of the people cared that played this game. Only the real fans really came back to it. So, Mercenaries. Mercenaries is, I'm sorry to say, I enjoy this, but I think it's the worst mistake that Capcom has done with this. You know, of course, right now it's really good than it was before. If you haven't experienced the Mercenaries before the DLC, man, it was terrible. Like, you would only play as Ethan Winters, you would only have 4 weapons to choose from in the normal stages, you had 4 normal stages, and everything is just so scripted that it's literally not even fun to play. Like, once you've played it once, you've experienced the whole thing. And don't get me wrong, I know there's, you know, different things you can do, like different routes you can take. You can create like your own challenges, and I've done that, but I just don't feel like it's a fun game to come back to. I feel like if, you know, I'm trying to look at it from a random casual gamer perspective, I don't think it's something I would play more than once or at all, really. There's no incentive other than getting your trophy. Like, I can play this game with my eyes closed. That's how predictable and how, you know, good I am at this game, purely because it's just so like, you can manipulate it so much. Like, if you go and watch my 100 videos that I've done in total for the Mercenaries, you can literally just like put them on top of each other and they will perfectly match almost. Like, if you watch any of my village videos, like the village 1 or even 2, they play out the same way. It's literally the same exact thing over and over again. And, you know, I know not everyone plays the same way. I know everyone doesn't follow my guides or whatever, but I don't know. I enjoyed it, but like, the way it is structured is just not something that you can repeat. You know, if you compare it to RE4 Mercenaries, which in my opinion is the best version of the Mercenaries, it's not something that you can come back to. Like, in RE4 Mercenaries, I can have a different experience every time I play it, and I will have fun every time. Like, it's chaotic, it's just so awesome. This is just the most dangerous thing you're worrying about here is like having to reload before the lichens. You know what I mean? Like, having the lichens hit you once. Like, I never found myself struggling at all in this mode, and I'm not saying that it has to be difficult. I'm just saying it has to be fun. You know, because if it isn't fun, what's the point? You know, I'm all for a challenge, but like, if something isn't fun, why bother? You know, to quote Reggie from Nintendo. As you saw there, I'm not even thinking because I'm just going on autopilot mode at this point when it comes to this game. I do think it's fun. I do think it's fun, but compared to other games, like previous iterations of the Mercenaries, it doesn't even come close. Even RE3 was better, and that was linear like this one. Like, no way. Anyway, that's all I had to say about RE Village. Final thoughts. I enjoy playing as Heisenberg. I enjoy playing as Lady D. I enjoy playing as Chris. I enjoy playing as Ethan. But most importantly, I probably don't want to come back ever again to this game, purely because I just defeated it into the ground. Even though you guys love seeing this game for some reason on my channel. But we'll see. I'm very excited for RE4 Remake. I will play the heck out of that. So subscribe, like if you found this video helpful, enjoyable, entertaining, or whatever. And leave a comment down below. I read all my comments. If you want to share your opinion, if you're, you know, a fan of the series or not, I will take any comments. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.